your whole life can change in 180 days. Why 180 days?
6 months. Honestly, just because it came into the top of my head, to be
Mm,
brutally honest. But consistency breeds success. So you have to have some kind of benchmark. And you can't say, well, I was consistent for a week.
mm,
You know what I mean? You can be consistent for a week, and that's a good thing. But your whole entire life, if you take consistent action each day for 3 months, even to 6 months of doing the shit, sometimes the boring stuff that you don't want to do, but you know is going to drive you forward, will literally change your life because it's a rewires your brain, bro. You know
mm.
what I mean? Where you kind of start to see that menial task that you've got to do as a task that you get to do, because you start to see the dividends from it, essentially.
Mm.
You know?
I completely agree, but like I think 180 days feels like a lot to people in the context of fitness, whereas anything
Yeah.
else, it doesn't feel like a lot. Like if you told me that I was going to get a degree or a master's in something in 180 days, 6 months, I'd be like, that is that it? Because like it takes 4 years, 6 years, whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
anything of like real value takes a long time for you to get there. But it just so happens in the context of your health and fitness goals or just getting in shape or getting stronger, it's like people think 6 months of committing to a program for 6 months is a long time versus 6 weeks. I'll commit to 6 weeks and then I'll just stop doing the things that I
That's
need
the
to do.
problem with the fitness industry, bro.
Yeah.
That's the exact issue is, and you even hear this with mentors and people, they'll all be like, get clients quick wins straight away, straight away, straight away. It's like, okay, I get you kind of want to get the ball rolling
Hmm.
and you want to get the ball rolling, but you got to be patient and you've actually got to understand that, look, it's going to take time. This person could have come in with a shitload of bad habits, or they could be a completely fresh slate. It's very rare because we've all grown up, right? We have lived experience, etc. But the like gym culture, like fitness industry is like, we'll get you to lose 50 pounds in like the next 3 weeks. And it's like, one, that's unhealthy, two, that's really unsustainable, three, you're going to leave that person broken afterwards, or you're going to make them feel ashamed. And it's kind of the way the industry's going. It's similar to like with content. Like people will like post videos that are like 6 seconds long just because a person's attention span only lasts 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, if someone can only watch something for 6 seconds, I don't necessarily care if they don't watch my content.
Mm.
Doesn't bother me because I want to deliver value. You know what I mean? Same principle with this quick win thing. 180 days sounds long, but it's not, right? And I'll explain what I mean when I say it's not long, right? Half a year. You've committed years of your life to various other pursuits. Imagine if you committed, like I can say this easy, right? I've done this. Imagine committing half a year of hitting the usual, the normal 10,000 steps a day. I bet you'd actually feel so much better. One, you'd lose weight. Two, your mind would get clearer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it feels longer because the industry has programmed you to think that everything needs to be quick. And that's just false. Because just because it's quick doesn't mean it's good. You know what I mean? And that's the problem.
I suppose it's easy to hit 10,000 steps for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks and feel the benefits of that. And it's easy to do a program for 2 or 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks and
Yeah.
feel the benefits of that. And then I think, them benefits start to feel less and less obvious. And then you feel a little bit more static. And that's when, people start to drop off and then they end up in this cycle of continuing to be on like these 4 week, 5 week, 6 week diets or challenges, and
Yeah.
they're always getting the high of doing it, and then die off, and then fall back into old habits, and then it's repeat, and like they're doing the same 6 week challenge their whole life.
But it's a stack, like, oh, I don't know if I call it a culture, but it's a stack culture.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is like, you're chasing a short-term high,
Yeah.
but what you're missing is the long-term dividends, right? Almost like, okay, I'm gonna get a what are those fake diamonds called? They're like made of glass. Like I'm gonna get a glass diamond, for example. I don't know what they're called. It's like looks good, looks really good. Here's a real diamond. Way harder to get, took a lot longer, etc. I'm not going to go into the monopoly of the diamond industry because then I wouldn't shut up. But right, takes a lot longer, it's a lot rarer, it's a lot harder to get, but damn, do you feel good when you get it.
Mm.
Same principle. It's just like it's the shiny object syndrome in the industry of like, oh, 6 it's fresh. It's like, okay, cool. fresh stuff is not a bad thing, no. But you know that 6 week area or that 4 week area where you're about to quit,
Hmm.
or you're like, oh, I need to, do a different challenge. Right there in that like pivotal moment is the moment where that neuroplasticity is really beginning to occur. You're starting to change your behavior. You're starting to actually turn into the person you want to become by
Mm.
actually doing these challenges. But everyone hits that wall, and I call it the invisible wall. They hit it, and then they just bounce off it like a circle instead of going straight through and just keep chewing away, chewing away, chewing away. And then they miss getting the diamond and they get the glass on and they wonder why it breaks and hits the floor. Why are you
Mm.
so shocked?
You also said you go to the gym, you try to eat well, and yet still no progress, or an empty feeling because what you're doing isn't working how you thought it would. Um, do you think that people have this kind of disconnect between effort and results? Do you think that's why people don't end up lasting them 180 days and onwards?
I don't know if it's effort to result ratio, to be honest, mate. Like if I had to conceptualize it, I would say it's more to do with the fact that the development that people actually want, right? More often than not. So I could probably say this for about 90% of people listening easily, right? The development you seek is in the end, right? Is in that end point, that pivot point where it's tricky, where things start to get hard, where the challenge occurs. I think it was Alexander Volkanovsky who said, adversity is a privilege, right? Now, I'm not saying chuck yourself into adverse circumstances, right? I'm not saying, go to Gaza, or something like that.
No.
I'm not saying do that, right? Because you're probably gonna get a bomb dropped on you or Israel, whichever, right? Whichever side you choose to swing, your call, right? But what I am saying is that at the end of the day, the the development of the self occurs when you hit that wall, and then the awareness has to grow to realize there is that wall and then to
Mm.
push through it. Now, don't get it twisted. The little challenges are great, right? They're great to keep people interested. But it's not just about being interested, but I think if we had to pull it back to the center point, I think it's the gap between I've got all this knowledge at my fingertips.
Hmm.
Why am I not getting a result?
Mm.
Because, dude, you can go to ChatGPT, go there. All that knowledge is not getting a result. We have more fat and obese people now than ever.
Mhm.
Illiteracy rates are higher now than nearly ever since the education system included reading and writing, right? So I think people get it confused. Like, well, I've got the knowledge, mate. I can handle it. It's like, good luck. And then they can't handle it more often than not. And what happens is they realize that knowledge is not going to be a direct correlation to the results you get. It's the application, the accountability, the understanding of what challenge it is you hit in the gym or wherever it may be. And then being like, okay, there's awareness there, build awareness now, how to develop in order to come through that challenge. And then the growth curves. And
Mm.
that's the growth that everyone really, really sips on and loves the source. That's the best growth.
Isn't it funny because like I always say that awareness breeds change, but then you could also be very self-aware, and you could, like you said, you can also have the knowledge, but then you could also be not applying it there. So there is this disconnect there, and it's like, and sometimes it's like when you hear someone say like the phrase, it's like, "Oh, I know what to do, I just can't seem to do it," and
Yeah.
sometimes I think in my head it's like, oh well, then you don't know what to do because you're not doing it. So you might have the knowledge, you might know that you need to track your calories and do your steps, you might need to go to the gym, you know the importance of resistance training, you know the importance of protein and whatever it is, but for some reason you're not doing that thing, so there's a disconnect. So even though you might technically have the knowledge or the self-awareness, but you're not applying the actual things that are going to create change. So do you really know what you're doing?
Yeah, bro, I always say this, like, knowledge just for knowledge's sake ain't gonna do you much good.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge without applicability is just knowledge, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You go read a self-help book, right? Whatever. Like let's say the 5 a.m. Club or something, right? Something around. You go read it and you get told all these awesome things that can happen if you wake up at 5 a.m. You've got all the knowledge, but you don't wake up at 5 a.m. It's like, right, bro. It's not the knowledge that's the problem. One, there is a knowledge gap, right? It's a knowledge
I think
gap.
that's so funny because like I can so relate to that of like reading all the fucking self development shit and then just still being in the exact same position in life like after all of that and it's like oh shit why has nothing changed in my life because I'm sitting here reading books rather than actually applying any of the
Yeah, right. I said this to someone the other day, and I had to rephrase it again when I was speaking to someone else, where I said, in order for you to change, you're actually going to have to change, right? And I shit you not, it was like a bomb dropped on this person's head. They were like, "Oh,
yeah.
that's a really good point." I was like, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was evident. Do you know what I mean? And it comes down to that whole premise of if you want to change, wanting to change is not enough.
Mhm.
Gaining knowledge is great, but being able to discern it, being able to apply it is a different source,
Mm.
right? You can read all the books you want on, how to build a car. But if you've never touched an engine, no matter what you do with that knowledge, you're going to mess up for the first time you touch that engine because you haven't applied the knowledge,
Mm.
right? So the problem that I think a lot of people are having is like almost like choice anxiety. It's like I've got so much knowledge at my fingertips. It's like, okay, firstly, probably too much knowledge. And when I say too much knowledge, not the forbidden fruit knowledge, but you don't actually know what knowledge is going to be applicable for you
Mhm.
because you can't even apply what you know. And if you do apply what you know and it's not working, then what? You're going to be like, well, that's not the knowledge I seek. It's like, you're right, but why don't you save yourself the effort? You know what I mean? And read something or learn something in the gym and then go and apply it. Imagine, yeah, here's a really easy one, dude. Me and you can explain perfectly how to do a squat, right? But let's say we've never done one in our lives.
Mm.
How well would we be able to say that? How well could we describe how difficult it is to be in the hole at the bottom of a squat? It's like 100 kilos on your back or like 200 kilos on your back and be like, look, this is where you really got to push your knees out, drive your hips. People, like, unless you've squatted, you won't know. You won't know what that feels like. So it's knowledge without application is just knowledge, bro.
Mm.
You know? And that's how I see it.
That's such a good point. It's like some things can't be read in a book. Realistically, you have to experience them. And then I suppose then like if we go back to that point, like you go to the gym, you try to eat well, but yet still no progress or an empty feeling because what you're doing isn't working how you thought it would be. I suppose that how you thought it would be like almost unrealistic expectations that this is supposed to be easy all the time.
100%. It's supposed to be the exact opposite. It's
Mm,
not supposed to be easy.
mm,
That's the whole idea of the development. Look, it's not supposed to like be like the hardest thing in the whole entire world, this, that, and the other thing, but it's not supposed to be within your realm of comfort.
mm-hmm,
No development occurs there.
mm-hmm.
You know everything there, right? It's like the back of your hand. It has to occur outside your comfort zone, which is gonna cause some, by proxy, discomfort, right? So the growth you seek is in the challenges that lie ahead, not in the comfort of what you already know. And one thing I will say is because of this quick fix kind of like quick results thing, it's like there's a period of time in your journey, in everyone's journey, where you have to just do the work and nothing is going to happen for a period of time.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden, boom,
yeah,
everything's going to happen. And it's almost like the best I can describe it is like imagine like sieging the gates. You bang against the gate, nothing happens. You keep banging, eventually it gives,
yeah,
and then boof, you're into the stronghold essentially. And
yeah.
that's where I think a lot of people miss the mark. It's like just because every single day the scale isn't going down or your biceps aren't growing 2 inches, it does not mean you're doing something wrong. You know what I mean?
There's what is it about the bamboo tree? Um, it's the bamboo tree is like a metaphor for patience and persistence. I think Yeah, so for years you see no visible growth above the soil with a bamboo tree. It's like nearly
Because the
5 years without anything, and then just in 6 weeks it grows 90 feet.
Exactly, dude.
Mm.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing is people don't understand what's going on underneath the surface with you doing these things, with you going to the gym consistently, with you training, with you putting yourself out of your comfort zone. What's
So,
actually happening?
so here's a question for you then. I suppose because your job of a coach is to get people to keep doing the thing regardless of seeing the result or not. How how do you help them to kind of personally measure progress beyond them physical changes when they feel like, oh, still no progress, I feel empty, and yet I'm supposed to continue down this path even though I can't see um a clear ending.
Well, the truth is, every single one of my clients has a clear ending.
Mm, mm,
Because I make sure that when they come, like, and I can speak on behalf of my clientele, I can't speak on behalf of everyone else's, right? So
mm.
that's why I'm just saying mine.
Okay.
Um, is I'll get them to map out, and credit to Lewis Potts for this, by the way. So big man, big up. But I'll get them to map out their vision for the future when they first get on board straight away, right? On purpose. So when that hits, bro, I'm going to the gym, but I'm plateauing. It's like, okay. And then as a coach, it's my job to look, okay, let's have a look at your physique. Let's have a look at weight. Let's have a look at the data. Let's actually have a look if genuine progress is not being made, because then it's on the coach to make sure we pivot and maneuver.
Yeah.
But for all you know, time and attention increases. An extra rep here or there.
Mm,
Now, people think, well, extra rep here or there is not a big deal. If you're pushing close to failure, for anyone listening, an extra rep is monumental.
mm-hmm.
Is monumental. If you're going up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 kgs every single week, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, ladies and gents, you're not training hard enough,
Mm.
right? If you actually are training to achieve a result of some sort, right? If you're just training to fight your demons, kind of like me, cool. Like, yeah, it's like get in there and get after it, man.
That's
But if
literally the only reason I train. Literally,
mine's like an amalgamation of both,
yeah,
bro. One
yeah,
like
yeah.
I
So
war with
it's like
myself.
like you spoke about suffering. Like I'm looking for the suffering. I'm not looking for the result. The result is the suffering.
I'm looking for the pain,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's the kind of phase you get to in training after a long time, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
it's no
you get
longer about.
addicted to it.
Yeah, it
But I
is
think that's
though.
not a
It's
bad thing.
yeah. Well, I mean that's growth as well, isn't it? It's like I just want to feel challenged.
Yeah. Well, think about it like this, right? Walk into
Mm,
any gym. I don't care where anyone's from or how heavy, light, jacked, thin, skinny anyone looks. There's a common denominator in that gym because
mm,
everyone's in there trying to improve
yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Whether it's, dealing with trauma by just, lifting heavy stuff instead of, smashing someone's face on the concrete or lighting your husband's car on fire or something. I don't know, right? Or someone's trying to lose some weight or someone's trying to everyone's in there for one common denomination. They're all trying to get better. So being in a gym environment, as scary as it may seem,
Hmm.
right? And look, I can play both sides of the fence here. I'm now the big guy,
Yeah.
but when I was the fat, ugly, stumpy kid that would literally go, bro, when I say beetroot red, I mean like
Mm,
shameful. It was so embarrassing if someone came to speak to me or if I came to speak to someone. So I know what it feels like on both ends. But the common denominator I always saw in the gym was if I just stood back and looked, like, irrespective of physiques, irrespective of any of that, everyone's in here for a positive reason.
mm,
Now, someone will be like, oh, well, no, my girlfriend broke up with me yesterday. That's why I'm here. It's like, that's positive.
yeah.
That's a net positive, mate. Like, you're actually taking care of yourself. Yeah, you're channeling negative energy, but you're channeling it to something positive,
Mm,
you know? And that's why, like, for me, the gym is such an important place. It could be the gym where you train as in lift weights. It could be the Muay Thai gym. It could be the BJ gym. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make is everyone's in there for a specific reason, right? Especially the gym is in with the weights and stuff. And that's everyone's trying to get a little bit better. Everyone's trying to improve something. And if you're someone who's anxious or nervous about going to the gym and you're listening to this, just always remember that when you go in there, who cares how people look at you? Just think everyone's in there for the same reason as you are.
Mm.
You're all in there to get a little bit better.
Well, that also ties into what you're even talking about in terms of like how you're measuring progress beyond physical change, how you're kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, even if you're not seeing physical changes yet. Like you're actually you walking into the gym is the progress, because it's like the first time you walked in you were probably petrified to walk in. Now you don't even you're not even thinking about it when you're going in. So like that's an element of growth that you don't even realize, that okay, you faced your fears of walking in there. Now it's not even a thing because you challenged yourself. So like that's you, that's another little piece of evidence that you are becoming the person that you want to become.
You literally just said it right there, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't realize. As a coach, it's your duty to show that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like at least that's how I see it, right? Like
Yeah.
if that person is like I can't get to the gym, I'm so scared. And they get there.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Celebrate.
you need to see this as a win. Like this is huge. And you know, there's so many other tangible effects you can see if someone's, improving.
Hmm.
I look at one thing I like to measure, and you can actually measure it, is self-awareness. And the way you measure is when someone makes a mistake. I'll go, okay, do you know you made a mistake? And they'll go, yeah, no, I made a mistake. But, okay, cool. So what do you think of it? What do you think? What are your thoughts? And it's not loaded, not like, okay, you're in trouble. Just like genuine, like everyone makes mistakes. I make mistakes, so who am I to judge? Okay, what do you think of this mistake? Oh, well, I know what I did wrong. Okay, what did you do wrong? I did this and this and this. Okay, cool. What do you think you did well? This and this. Or whatever it may be. But it's our job as coaches to show them those tangible impacts that they may not see when they're in that grind, right?
Mm.
When they're in that gym doing their thing and they're like, I'm showing up every day and I'm doing my sessions. It's like, hold on. You're showing up every day and doing your sessions, even though you think, and as coaches we can see, you think you're not getting a result, but you can clearly see a tangible change. You're showing up every day, irrespective of the fact you think you can't see it. Like, wow, dude, what resilience you're building.
Mm. It,
Seriously, like what
isn't it
resilience you're
funny because
cultivating.
you're almost your job almost as the coach is to take their negativity bias and then just tangle it up and throw out some a positive spin on everything that they're doing, because
Not everything, though. I
not
wouldn't
not
100%.
everything they're doing, but the good things that they're doing that they can't see because they're blind to it, because they might have this kind of pessimistic attitude towards their life when they're
It's
actually
it's human nature, bro. Like
yeah
we're naturally wired to look for threat than we are to look for positives,
yeah.
right? That's like been the case for yonks, but
Mm.
it's your duty as a coach to show this person that they are actually making progress. But it's also your duty as a coach. I'm going to stand by this because I am the no BS guy, to not bullshit them
Yeah,
and not lie to them and say, "Oh, you're doing great," when they're not.
yeah.
Then you need to have the chat. You need to have the discussion. You need to go, "Hey, you wanted to change, right? Yeah, I really do. Okay. Now, these are the things you need to do in order for you to change.
Mm.
Now, can you manage them? No, I can't manage all. Okay, what can we manage?"
Yeah.
And then we start to break down like a bite-sized fraction into what they can manage, not set the bar too high, not set the bar too low, and nail it for them.
That's a
That's
really
our
good. That's a really good point, though, because if you think about the relationship between a poor coach and a client, it's like okay, they might be setting standards on their clients that they actually just cannot adhere to,
Mm.
and then that constantly has this kind of this push and pull between them feeling like a failure, and the coach wanting standards that they can't adhere to
Yeah,
because they can't recognize the client situation or where they are in life compared to where that coach is.
100%. And then, in my opinion, if that is the case, the coach needs to have a look at themselves first.
Hmm.
And that's like, I'm a huge advocate for that, right?
Yeah.
If something's going awry, first person to look at is Ryan.
Yeah, like why is this client not doing the behaviors that I've asked them to do? And then it's like instead of being like, oh, okay, well, what am I doing wrong that the client is not adhering to them behaviors?
How am I communicating it?
Yeah,
Like, is it being heard? Is it being seen? Is it being ignored? Like
Yeah.
you look for the tangibles to see, right? So you look at yourself first. Okay, am I doing everything in my power to help here without crossing my own boundaries?
Hmm.
That for me is always a tricky one,
Hmm.
right? Because I just want to help. And it's
Hmm.
like easy tiger, right? Not everyone who says they want help actually wants help, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like take it easy and actually give ear to those who deserve it.
Yeah,
Um,
you also can't want your client to succeed more than they should want themselves to succeed. I think that's something that I actually have started to believe in a little bit. Because you can't force someone to change; they have to want to change for themselves. But you can create the
yeah.
path for them to change. And I think a lot of the times, like the more we try to push someone into change, the more resistant they're going to be to that change.
Yeah, I think there's I think it's a nice, I love saying this, it's a nice edge. It's a nice edge. And the reason why I say that is because they do need to be pushed out of their zone of comfort
Yeah,
because what's kept them in that spot is the fact that they're just rolling around in the zone of comfort, right?
yeah,
Kind of like a kid swimming in the kiddie pool when he's okay to go into the adult pool,
yeah,
right? And it's like, okay, up you get, off you go.
mm,
But the moment you start to collapse under the weight of whatever it is you choose to pursue
yeah,
is the moment I'm right next to you.
mm,
Boom. We're right here. Okay. So when you said, you can't want them to succeed more than they want to succeed, that's true. But you can want them to succeed to the degree that they see fit
yeah,
as
yeah.
much as possible.
Yeah, and I think you can see more potential in them than they can see in themselves. I think that's true as a coach. But
100%.
if you want them to get something more than they want to get it themselves, that can start to turn into desperation, and then that can start to turn into you pushing standards on them that they're not ready to commit to.
Yeah, I think then in that it's evident when that happens because then the coach will project
Mm.
what they deem to be, no, not what they deem to be, that's incorrect. The coach will project their goal for that client
Yeah,
onto them
exactly.
rather than actually help the client pursue their goal,
Yeah.
right? If someone came to me and said, Ron, I don't want to lose weight, I don't want to gain weight, I just want, to be able to deal with my problems and be solution orientated.
Hmm.
It's like, cool, dude, not a problem. Ryan, why have you put a gym session in my program? Okay, I'll tell you exactly why. Why? Well, because that's a problem I want you to solve. What's the problem? Like, I go to the gym all the time. Okay, cool. So what's the issue with the session? Well, no issue, right? And then if there is an issue, then we can start to unpack that, for example, and go, okay, cool. So we can see there's a little bit of a pain point, so to speak, there. And then you can dive into that and unpack it, and a lot of it is people sometimes just walking blindly,
Hmm.
and it's your job to make them see.
Hmm.
And that can be really, really hard. And that's why I always say to people, stop relying on your friends and your family to keep you accountable because there's just too much subjective bias there. Way too much. You've got to have a third party. And when you have that third party and that person is actually invested in your betterment, what you envision for yourself in 6 months, in a year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, 200 years, whatever. I don't know what Elon's doing and cooking up there, but who knows, right? But with that being said, pushing them towards their vision of success. And the reason why I do that thing with my clients at the beginning is because when they go, why am I doing this? Or, you know, what's the reason? I go, this is what you said. I kept my mouth dead shut. I zipped the lip, and these are your words. This is why you want it. I talk about it all the time, and I'll never stop. Shackle it to your why. Why is it so important to you?
Mm.
Why is it worth going through the day where you don't want to do that thing, but you're going to do it anyway? And what's going to happen when you do that? You're going to feel better for it. You're going to build some resilience, cultivate a bit of discipline, get a nice dopamine hit. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that people understand that your job as a coach is to help them pursue their vision of excellence. And the cool thing, at least that I can see, is as they begin that pursuit of their vision of excellence, not mine, right? There, because if it was my vision of excellence, I'd be like, okay, let's get you into a Muay Thai fight, or let's you get you to no, right? No. You think you're gonna get like a mom with two kids be like, oh, listen, you need to be training
Come
Muay
on,
Thai,
we're
lady.
moving you halfway across the world and you're gonna start
Exactly.
scrapping with strangers.
Come on, Karen, we'll get you some tampon and a cigarette. Let's get you in the ring. You'll be fine. You
Don't worry,
know?
your husband will look after the kids. Let's book that flight.
Instead, you're helping that person pursue their vision.
Mm,
And what I notice, and I'd say if I had to give it a data point, about 85% of the time,
mm,
or yeah, 85 would be a good mark. As they're going through that, right? As they're slowly starting to pursue what they deem to be excellent, which is awesome. And anyone pursuing any kind of betterment listening to this, fucking good on you. Straight up. Nothing else to be said there. But as they start to do that, and you start to pique their awareness, right? And go, are you aware that that's actually really good? Okay, are you aware as to why you made that little mistake there? And they go, oh yeah, yeah, oh, was it because of this? Yeah, that was it. That was the one. You see how you're growing in knowledge? You're
mm,
not only growing in knowledge, but you're growing in applicability because your knowledge is there, but you made a little mistake. But then you have the awareness. Now the growth occurs.
mm.
You see? So the next time that pitfall, you're going to be like, oh, I see that. I see that puppy there. Oh, give that a little dodge, you know?
I'll give you a good example of that with an old online client that I had, and it was like she when we first started, she was like, oh, "I've no willpower around food. I was raiding the presses. I'm always eating chocolate and I can't stop." And then obviously we put some things in place. One being like the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger,
Yeah.
and like we were having the conversation, and like after having multiple conversations, and let's say her awareness increasing around her food decisions, she jumped on a call with me and she was like, "Oh, I ate a lot of chocolate last night, but I realized why I ate it. It was because I skipped breakfast and I didn't have enough protein, and therefore it's
Win.
probably yeah." And then I boom, there's the win. The win. It doesn't matter that you overate the chocolate. Who cares? Gives a shit if you overate the chocolate. The fact is that you understand the reasons behind your behaviors. It was like you underfed and therefore you overate.
Yeah.
Everything has a reaction. And I
Yeah.
was like, so I spent the whole call like explaining to her how amazing that is that she's recognizing these patterns without anyone having to tell her.
But that's so dope because this is what I mean by the fine line is that's not a yes man. That's a
Mm,
good coach.
mm-hmm,
See what I mean? That's a good coach, right? So if, like a really good example, like if we're talking about clients, right? One of my online clients, shout out to Jordan, right? This guy wouldn't read, could not meditate,
mm-hmm,
right? And meditation is a practice that I encourage everyone to do, right? It's not for everyone, that's fine, but give it a go, okay? It's really good to be able to be in control of your mind rather than the other way around. Trust me on that one, right? He now meditates every day, bro. Like it rocked my boat because out of nowhere he was like, you know what, dude, I'm meditating every day now. I was like, dude, just try it once or twice a week. He was like, I'm doing it every day, bro.
mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, that's hectic. Are you sure you want me to hold you to that standard? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I Roger that, bro. Okay, I'll hold you to that standard. But if you fail, that's okay, right? If you manage 2 or 3 days a week, that's good, right? Okay, so there's wiggle room here.
Yeah.
And meditating. And now all of a sudden, his awareness is just, it's gone like, think of the Big Bang. Think of the explosion factor, right? It literally has gone from that to he's like, dude, I see what you mean when you say the more you know, the more you wish you didn't see, you know? And I'm like, yeah, man, now you actually can see X, Y, and Z. And I can see, that actually doing this is so bad for me, seeing X, Y, and Z doing explicit X, Y, and Z things, in the bathroom at the club or whatever. It's like, I, I've seen it. I never paid much mind to it. But now I'm like, I see you. Okay, and I see that's not something I want to be around because look at the kind of behavior it perpetuates, how I feel. And he starts to do this like internal audit in his head.
Mm.
And I'm like, bro, progress. And that goes down, like pull it all the way into the gym, right? You're getting in there, you're getting your sessions in every week, right? Do you think the more advanced you get, the harder you have to train to achieve less?
Yeah.
Okay, so a big guy like me has to train twice as hard as a smaller fella to get 1/3 of the gains.
A lot of diminishing returns.
Yep. Exactly. But I know that if I go to the gym 4 days a week and I train hard and I push myself, sometimes the weight's not going to PB every single week. And I'm not freaking out about that because look, if all you've got in the tank is 40%
Hmm.
and you give your full 40, good on you because you're giving me the 100 of what you had that day.
Hmm. But that's
You know what I mean?
awareness.
Yeah, exactly. That's awareness, right?
Mhm.
So I go in there and I train, and I'm not like, oh, I can't believe I didn't PB on this or that. I'm like, bro, you hit your 4 sessions this week. Nice work. On top of PB, good work, man. Okay, that's really good stuff.
Mm.
And it reflects in your physique, right? That's why it's so cool with the rise of AI. I find this so funny because a lot of um, this is a comic. I love ruffling feathers, but fuck it, I'm the no BS guy. A lot of coaches go, "There's AI angst," and I go, "Yeah, because you're a shit coach."
Mm. Yeah,
That's why. Because all you do is chuck meal plans, macros, and go, "Hey, do this."
yeah,
Yeah, of course you're gonna go out of business, big cat. Of
yeah,
course you are.
yeah,
But if you're a hands-on coach, it's actually like, yo, okay, we're gonna build a community, or we're gonna get together, or we're gonna jump on calls and we're gonna break it down like a fraction of what's going on. You're safe as houses.
yeah,
You're safe as houses, mate.
yeah.
Because you're literally pulling out excellence in an individual, and it is the most fulfilling thing on earth by far. But as a coach, like this is me speaking from the coaching standpoint for any listeners, I got to be careful because too much empathy is a bad thing. It's a
In
bad
what
thing.
way? Explain that for the listeners.
So essentially, as a coach, you've also got to understand that you are their coach, right? You've got to make sure that they are doing the best they can with what they have. You're pivoting, maneuvering around them,
Mhm.
right? But you're not overstepping your own boundaries because if you do that, you're rocking up to work with the glass half empty, bro.
Mhm.
Now, if your glass is half empty, yeah, okay, we can look at it half full. Just follow me with this, the half empty thing, right? Do you think you're going to give your best to the people who deserve it, who are paying you? No, exactly. That's where that I call it detached empathy comes from, is I care about you and I actually do want the best for you. But I need to,
Hand holding won't get you there.
hand holding will not get you there because what happens when I let go of your hand? You're
Yeah.
going to walk in front of the bus
Mhm.
and you're going to be like, oh, Ryan, why would you hold my hand? And I'm like, the whole premise was to teach you that I don't need to hold your hand.
Mhm.
But where a lot of there's like they get to a point in everyone's journey where confidence builds so much that ego takes over and hubris is bred,
Mm.
right? Which is hubris is I know what I'm doing straight away, right? And I always caveat this with everyone I work with or anyone I talk to. I said, I will tell you if you're ready or not, because everything that has been prescribed to you that's being done for you has been done by myself, or has been taught to me by someone who has done it. And
Mhm.
then I've gone and done it.
Mhm.
And if it hasn't, I'll go hire the person to teach me how to do it. Right straight away. I'll be like, okay, you need to teach me how to do this, right? So when they go through those rough times and those tricky situations, whatever it is, it's like I can fully resonate. And I can see, look, the awareness is growing here. Now, if your awareness is growing, it's only a matter of a time. It's only literally a matter of time. If your awareness is here, and let's just talk physical progress. If your awareness is here, your physical progress is here around nutrition and training. It's only a matter of time before this starts to increase your physical progress, right? Your understanding around nutrition, whatever it may be, because of your awareness.
100%.
Because your awareness will kick in and go, hey, are you aware of this? Almost like a nagging wife,
Mm.
like my missus, right? If she's nagging me in the evening, it's like, yeah, I can hear you, right? Like your mind is literally telling you, yo, yo, yo. And then all of a sudden you go, okay, I need to meet that standard. And it's not the standard that the coach has set, it's the awareness of the self.
Mm.
So you're actually pursuing excellence in your own realm of human endeavor. It's a beautiful thing.
And this is why these like 6 week challenges and fat loss quick fads don't actually work, is because they focus on the physical element and not the self awareness element, and that's why they always end up back in the same position or worse, is because
Yeah,
they haven't dealt with the mindset around the actions and behaviors, the food or the training that they need to do consistently over years to actually get the result that they want.
it's baffling. And I was having a conversation with a lady. She's a lovely lady. naive, lovely. I was like, how you doing on your journey? Right? Like I was trying to do about, like kids play rugby. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm doing really well. I'm like, really? That's fucking awesome. And if I'm like, that's awesome, I actually mean it, right? If someone's doing well, I'm gassed up to hear it.
Yeah.
I genuinely am, right? And I mean that. And I'm doing so well. I was like, awesome. And she's like, I've lost this amount of weight, you know, this, and this. And I'm going to the gym. And I was like, that's so sick. So, like, your understanding around food has increased and stuff. No, I'm just taking Ozempic.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to go on a rant about Ozempic right now. I'm going to curb
She's
that one.
she's going off. She's on Ozempic, but not doing any of the actions and behaviors like resistance training or high protein diet or anything like that.
So, exactly, right? So, I said to her, I said, you know what's so awesome about what you told me is that you're going to the gym.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
Very,
it. I
very
went,
good.
that is awesome. Because she's like, oh, well, I'm not eating that much now. And I was like, because you're taking Ozempic. When you stop taking Ozempic, you're going to be unaware. You're not going to be able to control your cravings.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to go into the side effects, right, of Ozempic, but you're not going to be able to control your cravings. You're not going to have nutritional understanding,
Yeah.
right? And then you're probably going to throw the gym out of there, which is the best thing about what you've told me.
Mm,
You're going to throw the gym out of there because you're like, well, I'm coming to the gym, but I'm gaining weight and this and that and the other thing. That's like, why?
mm.
No, hun. Take the Ozempic, throw it in the bin. You know, take it and throw it in the bin because it's this. For example, if I was to run a 6 week challenge, right? The only goal would be to actually get these people honestly into the mixer long
Yeah,
term. That's
yeah.
the truth.
That well, like so. I'm not against 6 week challenges, and I'm not against Ozempic. I'm not against any of that. But the whole idea is to create them pathways to a larger pathway, which is you've changed your lifestyle, you've changed your mindset, you're in this for the long haul.
Yeah.
Whereas the thing with the 6 week challenge, it's the opposite way. It's like a lot of people do the 6 week challenge so then they could be finished. And then it's like, what you've missed the forest for the trees. The whole point of the 6 weeks challenge is to get you started, not for
Yeah.
you to finish at the 6 week challenge. Like you're doing it the wrong way. It's like that's an introduction into the rest of your life versus the finish line.
Yeah. And like I don't believe in like a snake oil kind of like, oh, it's a sneaky upsell. It's like, no, if I launch a challenge,
Yeah, you can be
it's
upfront
because
about
I
it.
want you in the mixer.
Hundred
It's
percent,
fun.
100%.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
Don't care how many people buy into it or whatever.
yeah,
I cool, whatever results you got in the situation. I want you for 6 months.
yeah.
I want you to see your whole.
I think 6 months is like now. So when I used to sell my online coaching, it was 6 months. It was always 6 months. Now when I think about it, even back then, I still think that's not enough time. It's
It's the
nowhere.
low end, mate.
It's the
It's the
low
low
end.
end.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking like like the best clients I have had have been with me for at least two and a
Yeah.
half 2 years, 2.5 years, and now like even then like and it's a different one. It's a difficult one because I'm never one that's like I don't want to try and just keep someone in my vicinity for the rest of my life so they can continue to pay me. I'm like
No,
if
of
you
course.
no longer need the service and you have everything that you need, like if you want to stay because you enjoy the community aspect of it and you enjoy all that and you're helping other people in the community, happy days, stay. But you don't need to stay because you, like you said, you have that self-awareness now, and the physical aspect has caught up with that. But it's caught up with it because you took time to do the work.
Yeah, I agree. Like most of my clients that I have, my ride or dies, shout out to all of them. They've been with me for over a year. And when they get to that 6 month mark, and this is why I always say to them, I say, I will tell you when you're ready and when you're not. And I'm
Mm,
not going to bullshit you, right? Literally in my bio, no BS.
mm-hmm.
Because if you got it all nailed down, you don't need me. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right? That's like I'm happy for you.
Yeah, my
Right
service
there.
isn't supposed to provide everyone everything. It's as
No,
first, yeah,
and exactly that. And on top of it, it's not ethical,
yeah,
in my opinion,
yeah,
right? I don't think it's ethical, right?
yeah.
If someone is nailing everything down and
But
I
if
look,
it, but what I would say is if they're nailing everything down and they still decide that they still want to work with you, that's different than
that's
needing.
totally different. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I was about to say,
yeah,
right? So and they're nailing everything down. And this is what I mean by this journey is they get sick and they go, holy shit, I'm capable
Yeah.
of this and that and the other. And I'm like, yep. Can you see it now? Can you see what I can see in you? And they go, yeah. And I go, awesome. And then they go, this is just the beginning, bro. Like, let's go,
Mm.
you know? And that's a beautiful thing, right? So the 6 week challenge thing, anyone listening, I'll tell you the truth. I'd only run that 6 week challenge to find the people who really, really actually want to change their lives, who
Mm.
really want to lose a lot of weight, who really want to understand the gym, who really want to understand food, understand mindset, and really build themselves into someone that they can see themselves loving. Right? There's so many people that just don't really love themselves, and then they wonder why they can't find love elsewhere. And
Isn't
that's
it
no dig, by the
isn't
way.
it difficult though? Because like, let's say you advertise or you market a 6 week challenge, the type of people that are gonna come into your vicinity is going to essentially be people who are probably looking for the result or the fix of their lives in 6 weeks. And I know it's your job then to kind of change their mindset to a long term pursuit, but
No,
I'm
I
like,
agree. I
but like
agree.
it's
I
like
agree.
when people like I know when I have someone who comes in and like Carl, I know this isn't the quick fix. I know I've tried all them things. I know I'm gonna have to commit to this long term. It's like I'm ready to commit for to 6 months, a year, whatever it is. It's like, yes, I know that person is serious about change, and it
Yeah.
makes it so much easier. And I know that like, you still have to do the work as a coach, regardless of whether that's someone knows that they what they need or someone who doesn't know what they need and trying to convince them to see things
Yeah.
differently. Um,
Yeah. You're right because the I'm a guy, right? So I just go off like logic, right? So
yeah.
I try my best to think this through. But it's a 6 week challenge, right? I say
Are
20
you saying
people.
no? Are you saying that women don't go off logic, Ryan?
No, I'm saying they're not necessarily logistically based, but let's fucking go. If we want to have that debate, I'm so ready for it, bro. Right?
I'm gonna put that on my Instagram. I'm gonna cut that on my Instagram for the engagement. To
Do
get a few more
it.
blue haired crazies attacking me.
Oh, please get a few more blue hair Karens. Send them my way because it's like playing with puppets, mate. Like they're so uninformed, misinformed, and so indoctrinated. It's hilarious. You know, it's almost like you don't need to watch TV. Just go watch Karen.
All right, we digress. We digress from the blue haired, the blue haired
Yeah, the
carrot,
broccoli head teenagers. Yeah, yeah, we've kind of gone off on one there. But in that
because that could go
situation,
on. That could go on for a while.
yeah, we can end up going on a rant about that.
Yeah.
But let's say more like let's say 20 people in for a 6 week challenge.
Mm.
The main goal there is this. I want these people to do really well in the challenge, but I want their awareness to be bred
Hmm.
in and look, it's a finite amount of time to breed their awareness, but if I can breed their awareness in that time, those are the people that I want. If I can't, and even a little bit of awareness is there, and then you finish the 6 week challenge,
Mm.
and you feel a bit better about it and stuff like that. Okay, cool. That's a good thing. Now, is it the be all and end? Like, is this really where you're going to get the result? No, but did it improve? Did it help you? Did it cause a catalyst of change
Yes.
somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then okay, like I'm happy with that. That's awesome. But the people that I'm looking for, the people that I want to work with, the people that want to work with me are people who know like, okay, I want to achieve my vision of success. And you can ask anyone I've worked with. I never ever say, this is what your vision of success is. I always say, tell me what you envision as successful
Mm.
and write it down. And I'll shut up. And then they'll write it down. And I'll say, don't tell me what you put. I'll break it down. Break it down into pieces, and I'll go and reverse engineer that for you.
Mm.
No problem. Right? Because for me, seeing someone like, I can list off a bunch of clients, but seeing these people get to like the 3 month mark going, like, for example, my client Jordan going, bro, like, seeing that like explosion of awareness. I mean, seeing the progress physically and mentally and in the business space. The guy's now a leader in his job. He's like a boss, like literal boss, like not like a boss. You know what I mean? For any listeners out there, for any slang. It's because that self-awareness got bred. And even though the self-awareness got bred first, guess what caught up so fast?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
physical and
That's the
mental.
that's the bamboo tree.
Yep, exactly. The bamboo tree. And when it comes to trying to settle someone with regard to that, it's okay, cool. I'm more than happy to settle your mind. That's not a problem. Because I'll have tangible markers. Not bullshit. I won't make something up. Here's a tangible marker. Do you know why binging on the chocolate in the evening was a bad idea? I won't say anything. I'll be like, it's not a loaded question. You're not in any trouble. There's no such thing as a silly answer. Yeah, it was because I starved myself the whole day, and then I came home and the hubby put some chocolate on the counter and I just saw it and I couldn't help it, boom, and I went for it. And I'm aware that if I space my meals out a little bit better, maybe volumize my foods a little bit,
Mm,
I probably would have only had maybe half that bar of chocolate and that would have been a lot better. I'm like,
yeah.
awesome. Let's get you back in that crucible. Let's get the hubby to get you another bit of chocky. Come back, make sure you space your meals out and see what happens.
Mm,
You know? And to see that kind of growth, that's where like people become amazing. People become excellent. People step into the version of themselves that they deserve to be. And everyone listening, you deserve to be the best version of yourself, like genuinely speaking. You deserve to be the best version of yourself, right? And when it comes to, for example, this seems to be a very common thread, love and relationships. Let me say this, right? And this has everything to do with the gym. Love yourself enough and respect yourself enough to care about yourself enough. And once you start to do that, and you start to feel like, hey, I don't necessarily need, you know, a little cheeky excursion here or there, if you know what I mean. All of a sudden, you're gonna start to be able to sort the weed from the chaff in your life, and you're not gonna have meaningless relationships or pointless, futile situations. Instead, there's gonna be meaning behind it. Why? Because you know how to actually receive and give love to the hardest person, yourself.
mm,
When you can do that, then you can start to develop the archetype of love that you're looking for in the world,
mm,
and then it'll appear. But like I always say this to people, how do you expect someone to love you if you can't even tell me how you love you? How do you love you? Oh, I don't, I get up whenever I want, I stay up late all the time, you know, I doom scroll, which I did an experiment on, and I'm going to post a reel about that the whole of last week. It's super interesting. So stay tuned for that, right? Well, I doom scroll the whole night, whatever. And it's like, is that showing yourself love? Or is that you just treating yourself like a trash can?
You said get yourself back in charge of your own mind.
Mm,
What do you mean
100%.
by that?
So, you know that famous saying, well, infamous, because definitely not famous. I don't want to be famous. The mind is a brilliant slave, but a terrible master.
Mm.
So when you're in control of your mind, right? I think I posted a reel about it the other day where I said, don't let shit things make you shit,
Yeah, I have this
right?
here. I have this here. Don't let life's shit make you shit.
Yes, that's it. Don't let life shit make you shit, right? Because for every bad thing that happens to you is an opportunity for your origin story
Mm,
or for the new chapter. So, oh, I was born in poverty. I know what that's like. Oh, all my friends died. Okay, I get what that's like. Now there's two routes. No, there's not three. No, there's not four. Guys and girls, there's two. There's, oh, life's so, I just can't get through it. Okay, Victor, that's fine. Now, if you want help, you'd be like, I can't get through it, but I need to try. And then there's the other side, which is this is the start, or this is the origin story. This is the new chapter.
mm,
You know what I mean? And it's one or the other. And that's why I say, if you're in control of your mind, you'll opt for the correct path. But it's not easy. This is where people get it twisted. You want quick results? They're going to disappear quick. If you always chase what is cheap, free, and easy, you will always stay broke, alone, and with no result.
mm.
Sorry, but it's the truth.
That's why chasing challenges and embracing suffering is really important when it comes to that personal growth.
100%. You know, I hit you the other day when we were in the DMs with the Dostoevsky,
Yeah.
right? And there's another one which is pain and suffering are inevitable for someone with a big conscience and a deep heart,
Mm.
right? So what is he essentially saying there? He's essentially saying like, if you're experiencing pain in your life, if you're experiencing some suffering, it actually means you probably got a big heart and a conscience because you're actually acknowledging, I'm in pain or I caused someone pain, you know? And when it comes to being in the gym and, suffering, so to speak, going through the pain, the temple of tin,
Yeah.
as we call it, right? At least that's what I call That's what I
No,
call
I
it.
like it. I like it.
You know, it's like you're doing exactly what Immanuel Kant would call his categorical imperative, which is you're serving yourself tomorrow, today.
Mm.
You're making the version of you tomorrow better from the action you're taking today. And that should be something you should pat yourself on the back for, you know?
Mm.
Stacking those gym sessions when you feel like you're not making progress, but your coach can see you are. It's like, okay, you actually are making progress. Let's put that to the side, that massive thing, and let's actually look at this. You've cultivated discipline. Right? Why? Because you're showing up and doing your sessions. You're training hard. You've cultivated resilience because irrespective of the way you feel, which is not always accurate,
Yeah, I'm
you're still
tired.
going.
I'm tired. The kids were messing. I got home late from work. My boss is a prick.
Exactly.
I don't even want to be here, but I'm here.
Exactly. And I would say if someone said that to me, and I've had people say that to me, I'd say, what a privilege.
Mm.
And they go, oh no, come on, Ryan, it's not a privilege. And I go, let me explain what I mean by why that's a privilege. Because you have an opportunity to change that. Because you know that that's the case. Oh,
Yeah.
my boss is a prick. I don't want to be. Okay, cool. You now
Or
know.
or it could be, oh, what an amazing thing because you've all these things going on at home, all these kind of obstacles that could have prevented you from being here, but you're here anyway. Even if you're
Yeah,
only given 40% to this session, it's like is that not like the biggest win yet? Because it's like if you can do it when it's hard, imagine what you can do when it's easy.
you defied the odds.
Yeah,
And when I say you defied the odds, you defied your own mental odds.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You
Like,
defied your own mental odds. And people, and this is where I'm having a bit of trouble, is I train BJJ, I train Muay Thai. I'm not a fighting coach,
yeah,
right? I help people get, in amazing shape with bulletproof mindset, with no bullshit, right? I'll tell you the truth. I'll be honest with you, but I care about you.
yeah,
But the premise behind me doing BJJ and wanting to compete in BJJ and fighting Muay Thai is to show people to lead from the front. Not to say, hey, you can do Muay Thai too. It's like, yeah, of course you can. Anyone can, right? You can do BJJ, cool. But it's to say, hey, I'm putting myself in a situation that's uncomfortable. I'm new. I'm blue around the ears, blue around the gills, whatever the expression is, right? And I'm putting myself out there. And every single time you do that, you get a huge full circle moment, which is dope as hell. Where you're like, oh my God, I actually did that. Like go after this podcast, dude. You specifically go watch the vlog. There's one where I'm like walking past one of the posts, and I'm like, I was on that. Oh, that's so cool. Like it was a full circle moment.
mm,
So by me doing these things in my life, my personal little missions, I am also trying to show that I will lead from the front. Your gym session's hard? Don't worry, bro. My gym session was hard too.
mm,
I had to hit the mats today, and some 60 kilo tiny little black belt played with me like food. And I'm like 110 kgs, you know, and it was super embarrassing, but I learned a lot, you know.
mm.
So, and then in these little quests you go on, right, you actually unlock so much knowledge around your mindset, If we talk about BJJ, now this isn't if you're not a BJJ fan, this is still totally relevant for you in the gym,
Yeah.
right? Because with BJJ, the simple example is like 2 plus 2 is 4, right? That's a static problem. Okay. You always add 2 plus 2 and it'll always come out as 4. Now let's take BJJ, right? There's a problem. You need to solve it.
Mm,
Now, as you begin to solve that problem in real time, the other person is trying to solve the same problem, which is on the opposite end. So what you have is not a static problem, but a constantly evolving problem, causing a bunch of things to happen. One, ridiculous amounts of neuroplasticity, and two, you have to solve a problem that's constantly evolving, which means you have to think under stress and under pressure.
mhm.
The kind of like alpha caveat to that is it's just got dire physical consequences. Do you know what I mean? Right? You don't want to get caught in an armbar and for it to just break, right? So the point I'm trying to make there is it's the same in the gym, right? Let's say you're under the bar and you're doing a squat, okay? And it's the same weight as it was last week, but you paused in the hole
Mhm.
and then you exploded out there. You didn't use elastic energy, stored momentum, or anything of the sort, and you just paused in that hole and you just ground out that rep. Massive, massive improvement, right? You're solving the problem,
Mm.
right? You're not trying to shortcut it. You're not quarter repping it anymore. You understand that, okay, me pausing down there, it's going to be harder for me, but it's going to lead to more evolution.
Yeah.
You see, so I try kind of show that through my life. But my life is mine, right? So I'm not going to be like, okay, guys, I'm going to do a high rocks because I'm not going to do a high rocks,
Yeah.
right? I don't have anything against high rocks. I'm just not going to do one,
Yeah.
right? But in other pursuits, I will do it and I will show you, hey, you can lead from the front this way.
Yeah, but I think that's really good for your clients or just other audience members. It's like when they see someone who's capable in one area, go and try something else, and they see that it's struggle, it's difficult, and they're still finding a way to do it. I think you can take inspiration regardless of what the pursuit is. I think you can take
Yeah.
inspiration from that, which is really really good. Ryan, let's wrap this up and let the viewers know. We're going to be doing this every single Wednesday. This is episode 1 of what did I call this new show?
Shamrock and Springbok.
The Shamrock and the Springbok. Are we agreed on that?
Yeah, let's agree on that right now,
Well, if
right?
you
I'm
if you
good on
if you
that.
if you can think of a better name, you can let me know in the meantime while I edit and post this. But it will be
Or
uploaded.
if anyone listening to this has a better name, drop it in
Yeah,
the comments or something.
let us know. Let us know. But we're gonna do this every Wednesday, and next week we're gonna be talking all about culture. We're gonna be discussing Sadia Khan, which I'm gonna send over to you as well, Ryan.
Oh
So
yeah.
you'll
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
I'm ready for that one.
All right, folks. That was the Shamrock and the Springbok episode 1, and many, many more to come. Ryan, have a wonderful day, my brother. Appreciate you as always.
Love, bro. Absolute love.